Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Firefly Tarot. So for today's pick a card, we're going to be looking into what does your future self want to tell you? And I haven't done this topic for a while, so I was just kind of seeing an update. I'm not sure what is the definition of future self, because what I'm going to be channeling is any version of your future self. So it'll hopefully resonate with your situation, and maybe even I can get a time frame for you, but I'm not really sure about that yet. So we have here the 4 different options. We have the Halloween tarot here that I'm going to use as a secondary deck. I'll probably hopefully use more as well. So here are the 4 options. For group number 1, this is the book charm. For group number 2, this is a keychain that my little cousin made for me, so thank you if you're watching. I believe this is malachite, so this is a handmade keychain. For group number 3, we have the mini Ouija board. It even has a little drawer for the, I think this is called a planchette, I forget. That's number 3. And then group number 4, this is also actually handmade, but I got it from a store, the necklace. It's a wheel of some sort. Group number 4. Okay, so again, here we have group number 1, group number 2, group number 3, and group number 4. You can pause the video if you need to. Just go with whichever one is calling to you the most. And if none are calling to you, it might not actually be the right time to watch the video. I would say this is the type of video that's sort of like time sensitive, if you will. But yeah, whenever you guys are ready, I will see you at your reading. Hey guys, this is the reading for those of you that chose group number 1, which is the book charm. So let's see what your future self would like to tell you. So future self, please, of group number 1. Well, first I have to say, Spirit, this reading is for group 1. Please and thank you. Future self of group 1, would you like to give us a starting message? Anything you would like to say to them immediately? Future self of group 1, and Spirit, if you can assist us with these messages, thank you. Future self of group 1, what would you like to tell them at this time? What is your most important message? Okay, this is a pretty clear message to me. Your future self, your potential future self, is saying to you to continue to work on your healing. It's a very, very direct message here. Now, I believe for this card, whether it's reverse or not, is actually saying that this would be the only way for you guys to get unstuck or to get moving again, or to, you know, move forward in any way. I don't know if you have been feeling stuck, because even if that doesn't resonate, it may resonate very soon, especially before the end of the year, where suddenly you're kind of just like randomly feeling stuck and you don't understand why. But for the rest of you, if it does resonate, for like, I would say maybe 80% of you or so, you may have already been feeling this sort of stuckness, whatever the case is. Okay, so your future self is emphasizing the need to continue to work on your healing and your balance, as well as your sense of peace, which the Temperance card is all about. And if you are already working on your healing, if you've already been working on your healing, you know, it's kind of implied that they're saying just, you know, keep up the good work type of a thing, because you are making progress, or it will continue to be important to not give up on this. I don't really know when the healing journey ends or anything like that. Some people probably think like it's a continuing thing, and it probably is. So whatever feels right for you, because like the way that you can tell if you need continued healing is actually if you feel stuck or not. If you do not currently feel stuck and you feel like things are going, that's a great thing. But again, just you may want to consider, just like in a few, like, I don't know, several weeks from now, or maybe a month or so from now, if you start to feel stuck and you just don't understand why, it could be because of this. So let's see what else. Future self, what else would you like to say to group 1, please? They're specifically saying something about seeing something, because I was drawn to this little thing that looks like almost a third eye on the angel. Yeah. They said something like there's something you're not quite seeing, or you will continue to have clarity soon on something, just like in a general sense. Oh, I see. Okay. Your future self is really clear, just has a very clear sense of communication. I think your future self is speaking directly from the soul, like something quite deep. So here what they're saying directly, again, with these two cards, I don't know, it's like kind of creating a parallel here. They're saying that there could be some specific sadness or longing, could be grief for some of you, that you may not have entirely moved on from. You can see here with the Eight of Cups that this is you moving on and starting a new chapter, and you know, there could still be a lot of sort of residual sadness or longing or whatever the word is for you. And again, this could lead to bringing it with you, carrying it with you into the future. And you can, I've never noticed this before, but I'm noticing it now, that this black cloak and that there's sort of a black garment over this person. I've never noticed that before. So yeah, I definitely feel like this is what your future self is telling you. If you feel like this is almost more of sort of a warning, your future self is saying to you that this Five of Cups energy could definitely lead to that stuckness that could grow to be, you know, some kind of a bigger concern. It's just something that they know that you would want to prevent, not avoid, but prevent. So with this Five of Cups, again, of course, this is going to be different for everybody, but there could be something that sticks out to you, meaning maybe it's familiar to you, maybe it resonates and you know what I'm talking about directly, you know, whether it was just like something from the past, something that sticks out to you with, it could be traumas, it could be losses, it could be just a general time period of your life. I mean, of course, it could be a specific event, but I do feel like for the most part, everybody knows what this is. And if you're not sure, which I don't think is many people, I think that, you know, just a little bit of reflection will help you to see it, especially in your day-to-day life. Like, it might kind of just have these little pop-ups where you're kind of reminded of that feeling, whatever the case is. But yeah, like whether this is happening right now or it will develop soon, that is what your future self is saying, is that that the healing is actually not complete yet, you know? Again, that's a hard thing to figure out. Like, how do we know when we're finished healing? How do we know any of this stuff? Just, you know, just go for it. If you see that this blockage lifts and it's just not a problem anymore, then I feel like that is your answer. Future self, please. What do you have to tell them? What would you like to tell them? Yeah, this is again some confirmation here. So it's like there's a really nice smooth sequence to these messages and to the overall flow of your future self and your current self. So you can see here with the Knight of Wands that you're moving forward with a sense of passion, motivation, enthusiasm. And then over here with the Ace of Cups, I do feel like this is talking about the flowing of your heart once more, your heart space, your heart chakra. Okay, yeah, because here it's like the blockage was there, but here you can see for yourself that this is just such a peaceful flow to it. Okay, so the Temperance card is a similar energy there. So yes, this is creative flow, this is loving flow, this is psychic flow. It's everything is in motion again. Everything is very balanced and clear and centered. Okay. Anything else? Your future self seems to not have any messages about any other area of your life, although I could try, but I feel like your future self is just very much focused on this. Your happiness, your healing, and all of the, I suppose, consequences of not healing. They know that you wouldn't want that for yourself. Your future self knows that you would not want to be blocked with your goals, your motivations, your creativity, your inspiration, whatever it is. And that's why I feel like they're focusing on this message alone. Okay, Yeah. So here's the Nine of Pentacles. This is you, very self-sufficient, very independent, powerful in your own right. Lots of success just on your own, actually. I mean, of course, with the help of your guides and your future self and your higher self. You know, there's a lot of spiritual help, but this is you being able to achieve quite a bit on your own. There's success here. There's prosperity, autonomy. And I feel like this is definitely a glimpse into the future as well. Again, the future is, it's weird because like, I don't know if many things are set in stone. Certain things might be, but in a lot of ways, the future is really not set in stone at all. And this is a big, bright potential future for you. This is your future self saying, this is what's going to happen if you're able to achieve this openness that we're seeing here, which is a result of your healing and your balance. You have a lot of power about you. I definitely feel now your ability to successfully and healthily manifest prosperity in your life, prosperity, abundance, happiness, not just for yourself. And interestingly, it's for the people around you as well. So if you have people in your life who are very close to you, friends, family, romantic relationships, whatever, this type of prosperity is going to extend to them as well. It's sort of like radiating from you. And this is something that you're going to be able to help with to create. I'm kind of drawn to this red. Honestly, I don't know what that is. It's like a hat. I've never really noticed that before. I'm very drawn to it. I wish I knew what that was. Can you tell us about the 9, please? Let's see. Oh, whoa. Look at that. 10 and Ace. So we have the 10 of Wands and then the Ace of Pentacles. I kind of felt like it was an idea. So maybe it is an idea that you've had for a very long time, to the point where you were carrying it with you. It got kind of heavy, and maybe for a while you didn't quite know what to do with it or what it was for, something like that. But then here, as you can see, and it's touching the other ace, this is a new beginning in terms of your prosperity. Or it could be, you know, it could be career, it could be just anything with your whole area of life of prosperity and abundance, or of course like finances. Can you tell us a little bit more about what this is? Yeah, see? Same energy. You're radiating abundance. You are creating it. You are abundant in your energy, in your soul, in your whole presence. I do see a lot of bright ideas coming from you, so there could be some excitement regarding that. There could be this could be a catalyst for a lot of other abundance in your life in terms of your own success. Wonder what this is. I mean, I'm definitely not meant to tell you if it's your own unique idea, because that's something that only can come from you and your guides and your whole, you know, like psychic centers. So I feel like there is something coming. I feel like you're currently channeling this, or you will channel it. And again, that's why your future self was emphasizing the need for healing, actually, because that is how all of this abundance and everything that you see here, all the positive, that's how it has a chance to free flow. That's what this was talking about too. So the free flowing energy is really what's creating this. It's almost like a well-oiled factory or something like that. Like everything is just flowing together really nicely. I forgot to use the other deck. Hold on. Okay. So here we have the Halloween deck. I'm actually just going to go by the images because I don't want to just stick to the meaning of the card. Every card has unique images. So let's see. Spirit or future self of group 1. What else would you like to tell them? Any other additional messages? Anything else important that you feel is they're meant to hear? Okay, so we have the Magician. This really doesn't surprise me at all, because this energy does really kind of scream magician. It's here. You're able to channel and manifest so much, and like the power of the 4 elements basically is kind of what we're seeing with any magician card. Yeah, they are saying something about the creation of something material too, which I think is talking about your prosperity. There is no time frame, however. I want to tell you, If you're hoping for prosperity, for some reason they're not actually giving me any time frame at all. So this is just telling me that, again, it's in its potential still. So it depends on your energy. It really heavily depends on your current energy and the ability to, I suppose, stay in that energy, which isn't actually supposed to be a hard thing to do. It is difficult, but in your case it's actually the most natural thing for you to be, which is just in this energy here. Like everything is free flowing. If you do want to do further healing, if that message resonated with you, you might want to consider doing some specific heart chakra healing. You can do meditations, they have them online and stuff, and perhaps even something from the past, like whether it's inner child or just like past healing. Yeah, here I'm drawn to the bunny, just getting pulled out of that hat, just like, again, by magic. This is a person who is very confident within themselves. I don't know if you feel confident within yourself now. You may not, because this is a message from the future self, but your future self is almost telling you you should be, because they're cheering you on. I feel like this is kind of what that's saying here. Your future self is really cheering you on and saying, hey, you do have this ability, so use it. You might as well use it. Where is it? Let's go. Yeah, kind of like just encouraging you there. You may also wish to work on your sacral chakra too, the second one from the bottom, if you want to increase your creative energy too. That could be something as well. Okay, so we have here Two of Imps. Now, what I'm seeing from this one, again, I'm just going by the visuals here. I actually am seeing someone who's in inner conflict with themselves. It looks like you're kind of fighting yourself here. So whether you're fighting yourself now, or you're even kind of feeling a little bit conflicted with some of the messages that you're getting today, kind of check in with yourself and see if you are fighting with yourself. And if you are, really try to just acknowledge that and bring some sort of peace to you, because that is an example of how to become centered. That's one of the most important things. If we have conflict in our lives, that's one thing, but if we have conflict within ourselves, it's very powerful. It's very debilitating even. Whoops. Okay, so future self, what else? Any other final messages? Anything else that they need to know? And Spirit, would you like to also give us a message? Okay, so 10 of Pumpkins. Again, from here, definitely I feel all of the abundance coming from this card. One last thing that your future self wants to say. They said specifically, do not get fooled by other people, right? Now, okay, that's a very mysterious message. You may want to follow up with this and watch I'm going to link it below. I'm just trying to remind myself over here. What is hidden from you? That could be something, and any reading that has to do with that. I am not saying that there's someone in your life directly right now that's trying to fool you or whatever, but your future self did specifically say, do not get fooled by basically people who have a smile on their face, like this, but they don't have your best interests at heart. This doesn't mean that you have a sort of like a toxic, harmful person in your life necessarily, but there could be some times where you are trusting certain people or interacting with certain people, and it just doesn't seem to work out in the end, and it doesn't work out in in the best interest of everyone involved. So they're kind of saying to be a little bit careful, just step back from that. If there's certain things you feel that are going to work better if you're just on your own, that's okay to work just by yourself. So yeah, just be a little bit cautious when it comes to working with other people. And if this is a more extreme case, then yes, it could be someone that is really just bringing a negative energy to your life. This is going to be different for so many people, but that is just one other final caution your future self had to say. Some other messages from Spirit, just as to final messages here. We have here the Page of Bats. As always, they are reminding you to work with your guides. You have them all around you, and they're asking you to pay attention to them, to remove the veil, to speak with them, to do a little bit more of the spiritual work, such as meditation, kind of just going into nature, prayer, whatever you do. We need a little bit more of that, is what they're saying here, and it'll just be so helpful. It'll make such a difference. Okay, and then we have here the King of Ghosts. I definitely think that Spirit is saying you are seeing more and more of the answers every day. So all you really have to do is just continue, be open to receiving messages of clarity and vision, because we did see that before, and I'm getting that from here. And eventually you will get to the point where everything really just makes so much sense. There's a lot of peace, there's a lot of celebration, and there's a lot of things aligning to your favor, or basically aligning to the path of your destiny, of your whole spiritual path, of the way that it was meant to be. Okay, yeah. Do we have any just final card for them? Final message. Okay, so your final card is the Tower. All right, it looks very busy. It looks, you know, nobody really likes the Tower, I don't think. But of course, like after this whole reading, it makes sense to me that this is talking about yet another transformation. There are going to be times where this, you know, can make you nervous or hesitant. But I really just feel like you've gone through all of this transformation already. This might even be a confirmation that you've already gone through your transformations, and what's happening next, I think, is actually just strengthening. It's more growth and strengthening. Truly, I feel like you've been through every tower that you possibly could. You know, if for some reason you have another tower moment, it wouldn't be anything like it was in the past. Like I truly feel like you're strong enough in order to handle anything. But I do kind of feel like the towers are complete in a way, if that's even possible. So don't worry, don't worry about this, because everything else in the reading was really solid. It was really good energy. Okay, so I feel like that's probably it. Thank you so much to your future self for these messages. I hope that this resonated with you guys. I hope it was helpful. And if you did find it helpful, feel free to subscribe. And if you'd like a personal reading with me, the info is below. Okay, so thank you so much again, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye. Hey guys, this is the reading for those of you that chose group number 2, which is the keychain. Spirit, this reading is for group 2, please. Please and thank you. And the future self of group number 2, would you like to come through and give us any important messages? Future self of group 2, what would you like to tell them as a starting message? Spirit, can you please assist us? Thank you. Future self of group 2. This is really looking very similar to group 1, but let me see how it differs. You have 3 of the same cards. Okay, so we have here Temperance, 4 of Pentacles. We had 9 of Pentacles, and then we have 6 of Pentacles. One message that's coming through, even though it's not necessarily even shown here in the images, your future self said something about having extremely rigid expectations for yourself, and this might be very pressuring. Yeah, because like looking at the images again, I'm not really seeing it, but I am feeling it. I am feeling this tension, this anxiety that comes from really pushing too hard, pushing yourself too hard and expecting so much. And ironically, that is actually what can be causing some of the either blockage that you might be currently experiencing in life, or, you know, whatever the case is. So yeah, I did want to point out that this visually is quite similar to group 1. Maybe you have a friend or family member that chose that group or something like that. I don't know, just thought there was something worth mentioning. And then with the 6 of Pentacles, when they showed me this, the coins being given to this person, your future self literally said, cut yourself some slack, give yourself some slack. It's just too much. It's too, it's going to become too burdensome. It's too rigid. When they, well, I guess they mean your thoughts are being too rigid, and it's just not going to ultimately serve you. So yeah, that's the first thing that I'm feeling here from your future self. And I feel like the reason why they brought up these particular cards is maybe because they're showing us what could be possible if you allow yourself to just have a bit more of space and kind of just like going with the flow, being a little bit more easy about things, like easygoing, or just like, you know, more fluid, something like that. Future self and spirit, can you please let us know, future self of group number 2, what would you like to tell them, please? And thank you. Why do I feel like I'm crooked here? Okay, so we have here the 9 of Cups, we have here the 7 of Cups, and the 7 of Pentacles. Okay, now you might look at this and say that it's, oh, you have to be patient, you know, our favorite phrase. But actually what I'm seeing here is almost like the opposite. Your future self is telling you that you do not have to delay your happiness anymore. They're saying that, you know, I'm actually kind of having a shortness of breath too. Like it's hard to actually catch a full breath here, and I'm like fidgeting too. So yes, your future self is saying that you do not actually have to continue to delay your happiness and think that you have to wait, and that you can only be happy if you have some condition of the future. You know what we all kind of do, like, oh, we'll only be happy if we have that job or that amount of money or that relationship or that goal, you know? So your future self is sincerely asking you to cut that out. They're very like, they're kind of firm with you, and they're just saying like, stop doing that. Because again, ironically, that is what is going to prevent you from having your opportunity of your happiness. So I guess the implied message here is that the happiness can be yours here and now, or at least sooner than whatever it is that you feel or you're convinced that you have to wait for. This is a very common thing of, I guess, like most people, most humans to do, because we always feel like we have to delay our happiness. It's just like a cultural thing, I think, as well, a lot of the times. And I think the antidote to that is pretty much being as present as possible, you know, just like appreciating the here and now, finding those moments of joy, or, you know, finding those moments of enjoyment or fulfillment or whatever it is in the present, or the closer, at least the closer future, you know. I'm not saying it's always like 100% possible. I know things are difficult, but your future self is trying to just get you away from the idea that it has to always be delayed. It's like, it's almost like this equation where you just have to keep adding like +2, +5, +1 to get to your happiness. But they're like, no, it's here now. Okay, what else? Okay, so we have the Moon and the Knight of Wands. Now, there might be a part of you deeper down where I feel like this is a fearful part of you. This is a part of you that has some maybe insecurities, or it's like the vulnerable part of you. There's something here that's really something you would not want to show the world, I feel, at all. And there could be a part of you that is actually afraid of where you're going, or where you're not going, maybe for a lot of you. Okay? So your future self is bringing this up, and they're actually trying to comfort you. I feel like this actually here is representing your future self, and they're saying, yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay. Like, we don't have to have all the answers. It's okay to be afraid, you know, we're in this together. It's just a really encouraging, comforting message. Highly psychic, very much internal, could be like a past self version of you. Definitely inner child comes to mind. This is the part of you that I feel is the most fearful, the most anxious, the most uncertain. And yes, it is very scary. And yeah, with the Knight of Wands, this is just representing where, I guess, like where you think you should go, or, you know, it's overall your sense of direction. Now, what I'm feeling here is it's an interesting separation from these two cards. It's almost like the Knight of Wands. If we're kind of showing this wand almost like a torch or a lantern, or some sort of a source of light acting as a sense of direction, weirdly I'm feeling that it's detached from everything else. So with the moon, it being in the nighttime and the obscurity and stuff, we're lacking that light. We're lacking ultimately that sense of direction, and maybe inner direction, inner passion, wherever that's supposed to lead us. So yeah, I am feeling like there is a need to continue to look inward to really figure out what that could be for you. If you are the type of person to be more logical, talking about like, okay, what I should be doing this, and I feel like you've heard me say this a lot. Your future self is, again, they're trying to get you to be a little bit more fluid with yourself, to say it doesn't always work like that, and you will see that in the future. And the fact that they're giving you this message now is obviously so that you can prevent years of that unnecessary strain, if you can. So the thing to spend a little bit more time on is that self-reflection. In fact, in your reading, there's been like these little pockets of silence, more so than I usually, entertain. So just sitting with yourself, with that silence, with your own inner silence, no distractions, no anything. It's going to be very useful for you to get some answers that you've been seeking without even realizing you were seeking. Okay? So yeah, the Knight of Wands equals your passion, your passions for life, for your goals, for everything, for the spiritual path, for your three-dimensional path. And it needs to find a home within yourself. So it's almost like that inner burning fire needs to settle within you and have a place within your actual heart so that it knows where to go. So yes, your future self wants you to spend some time and discover what your passions actually are. Some of you might know them, but if you feel like you still lack a sense of direction, like that self-reflection time is still going to be really, really useful. But I just think that for a lot of you, there could be that feeling of missing, okay, what is that thing? The total opposite of that for just a few of you, I think, has to do with actually having perhaps too many passions, if that makes sense. Just like that is where the lack of, I guess, like focused direction comes from. So yes, lack of focus. My fellow ADHD friends, it is very difficult. Just yesterday, I was like, there's too many things. There's too many things in my mind. I can never pick what to do. It's just very frustrating. So I took a little mini notebook. I just got this little mini notebook from Staples. I had a whole bunch of them. And I just took the notebook. I wrote the date on the top, and I put literally just one task on the page, just one. I'm not counting stuff for work and like other stuff I have to do, but I just put one actual task on the page, and I just focus only on that. It can be really just so frustrating when you have like that lack of focus or like executive function, I guess. But anyway, I'm digressing here. So yeah, that's the future self wants you to rest. There's a lot of anxious, burnt out energy that I'm feeling here. And I know you guys' energy. I have read for this specific energy so many times before. I think that you guys are the group where I even remember the card. It was the Queen of Pentacles, where this queen was taking care of everyone else except themselves. Okay, so it's just a lot. There's just so much pressure, and again, like a feeling of that rigidity. There's no sense of rest or play or fun at times, so just really be mindful of that. Okay, so let's get one more pull from this deck. Future self of group number 2. What else would you like to tell them? Thank you. Future self, group 2. So we have the King of Swords. I like this energy. This is really you shining in your natural sense of logic and clarity, but I feel like the difference here is that it's removed from everything else. This is just you, how you're meant to be. You have the clear visions. You have the clear sense of communication. You're very honest. You're very direct, you show up to life, and you really do a great job of just being this strong person, this leader, where people come to you to have those answers or that clarity. This is just who you are. Now, I feel like this is getting into almost like your archetype of your soul. I feel like I should probably do a reading on that eventually. Yeah, this is one of the archetypes of you and your soul, of who you are. Kind of like the judge, right? Where not like judgmental, but someone who's able to deliver that truth. So basically like the justice card as well. And now this is provided that you're allowing yourself to really just be who you are and relax, because if there's too much pressure and if there's too much kind of, things coming at you, this is going to be difficult. But this is you in your relaxed state where you're just yourself and you're like, oh yeah, I'm this person. Anything else? So yeah, hopefully you can allow yourself to be that person. So here we have the Tower. This is how you're able to look through all of the Tower moments of your life, whether they're now or in the future, and you're able to actually see with crystal clarity the reasons for the Tower. Okay, so you're able to see why you went through difficult lessons. You're able to see everything even extending out from that. Like you're just able to piece all of this stuff together. I feel like you're very intellectual. And again, if that is not balanced, it can really work against us because, like the mind needs something to kind of focus on, occupy. Otherwise, it can get a little messy. But yeah, you're able to really see the clarity of this. And I feel like you're also able to guide others in terms of their negative experiences because you're able to see the truths behind them. It's very powerful. Let's get from the Halloween deck here. Okay, so future self of group number 2. Any final messages for them? What do they need to hear from me, please? I'm going to go a little bit more visually with these. Okay, so we have here the Knight of Imps. Is that the same card? It is, isn't it? Where is it? Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I do feel like there is going to be a growing sense of satisfaction once you begin to follow the guidance from outside of yourself, right? Within yourself, yes, of course. But here it's coming from, I would say, all of your spiritual help. So that includes your future self, higher self, everybody. You're really liking this. Like you're going to start to do this, I feel, and you're going to start to enjoy it and say like, oh, this is really working out for me. Let me keep doing this. What else, please? What else would you like to tell them? Okay. Okay, so now we have the Ten of Imps. Yeah, I feel like this is just, again, sort of just repeating that message where you may feel that you have to carry everything. And that's a lot. I mean, I'm not saying that you cannot, meaning like you're not capable, because of course you are capable. But just know that there are going to be consequences to that. You know, you can see that this is really taking a toll on the body for one. There's a lot of strain, there's a lot of heaviness. So just really think about what can you, I guess, like leave behind. How can you lighten your load a little bit? And that'll just help your present. But we kind of already knew that one. Any additional new messages, please? Group 2, future self of group 2, and spirit, anything? Here you might also be thinking about something you had to let go of or that you missed or dropped, so to speak. And you're like, oh man, like I'm really kicking myself for that. So be careful with punishing yourself or just like really beating yourself up for past mistakes or past whatever, you know, like you don't need to do that. And in fact, I don't know if you have like this sort of underlying belief that you have to be perfect. Again, we have the have to, should, and supposed to. Those are really something that they want you to get away from, that language. So please don't beat yourself up. Okay, so we have here the Ace of Ghosts. Okay. Yeah, I mean, the way that I'm actually seeing this energy here, this card, it does look like there's an overflow. Usually I don't see that for the cups here, but it does look to me like there is a bit of an overflow. There's like too much in the cup. Yeah, so in the near future, in even the next few days for some of you, you might be feeling an overwhelming amount of emotion coming from you. If that does happen, just please know that this is part of your process, and that's okay. It's going to even out. It's going to level out. Do not be alarmed. I don't know exactly what kind of emotion. It doesn't have to even be negative. It just shows me that you're going to feel quite overwhelmed. And I think that this is going to be the result of allowing something to open within yourself that was previously locked or restricted in some way. Okay, so don't worry about that. It's, you know, it's nothing to be nervous about. It is going to balance. Okay, any final messages for group number 2, future self? Okay, this is so weird. This was also the final card of group number 1. I don't think you are meant to listen to it. I think someone you know is meant to listen to it. So if you felt like, I don't know, like maybe if you show it to a friend and they're like, oh yeah, I want to pick that little book charm, I think it'll be interesting for the both of you. Okay, so I feel like it's like there's some connection between you and this person, group 1 person, sort of like, you know, they gave me the phrase almost like partner in crime, not that it's a bad thing, but kind of like this soul connection, the soul sibling connection almost, or soul friend, whatever, you know, whatever it was. I definitely feel like there's a connection between you and group 1 person, if that resonates. But you already did get the Tower, okay, so that's interesting. You already did. Now, what I'm seeing for you guys as your final message is that you're actually the cat outside of this house or this tower situation, and you're just observing everything, okay? Yeah, you're not affected. I do not think that you're affected by the tower. I think that if anything, you're watching a tower happen. Oh my God, I'm just wondering if that has to do with your group 1 thing. I don't know anymore. Like, it's just so connected. But you're observing some kind of situation here in this card, and it's almost like you're watching the tower fall, like the house fall in some way, and you're just looking how everything is connecting in a bigger picture kind of way. Again, that's just kind of who you are with this sense of analysis that you have within you. This is going to happen towards the end of the year, where you're just going to be able to view everything, and you're going to stay very, very calm and collected, and just, again, have the answers. So if you are interested in things like psychic work or just talking to other people and helping them through things, you're going to have a lot of answers by the end of the year. I don't know if that's something that resonates with you, if you want to do that, but I just wanted to tell you, you're going to have a lot of answers by the end of the year, okay? And I feel like I'll probably do a pick a card on that at some point, the rest of the year energy. Okay, so that is what I'm seeing for you guys in group number 2. I really hope that this resonated. I hope that it was helpful. If you want a personal reading rather than this general reading, you can find the link below if you want a personal reading with me. And you guys can subscribe if you found this helpful. So thank you so much. I hope everything works out well for you guys, and sending you blessings, okay? I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye. Hey guys, this is the reading for those of you that chose group number 3, which is this mini Ouija board. Don't remember where I got it. It was a long time ago. Might have been like Spencer's, I don't know. Spirit, this reading is for group number 3. Please and thank you. And the future self of group 3, would you like to come through? For some reason, I felt called to say, I have no idea how this type of a reading works. I'm still mystified by tarot and the fact that it works at all, truly. So if this happens to be your first time watching this, I'm just as confused as you are. Future self, please, of group number 3. Future self of group 3, would you like to give them a starting message? What is the most important thing you'd like to tell them? Or any message at all that you find is important. Thank you. Group 3, future self of group 3, Ouija board. Wouldn't it be so funny if this started to move? Like, that's the whole premise. I've never seen that happen, but I've heard stories. Please be careful if you ever use something like this. Just be careful. I've heard a lot of stories. Group 3, future self. What would you like to tell them? Okay, interesting mix of energy coming through here, definitely. We have here the 6 of Pentacles, the 4, 10, and 9 of Wands. Let me just get a little bit, just maybe a few more. What, future self of group 3, what would you like to tell them? I feel like there's kind of a lot going on in this message. 3 of Cups, Knight of Cups, and then the Hierophant. Honestly, it's a little bit confusing already. Now, the one that is sticking out to me, I feel like it's almost like these cards are at odds with each other. Here, there's a lot of heaviness, and there's tiredness, and there's battles. And then over here, it's just like this beautiful balance, okay? So I'm not really... I feel like your future self and just your energy as a whole might be cryptic. It might be kind of like an indirect message. So what I'm going to do for you is I'm gonna get another deck, because I feel like I just want a clear message here. But I feel like there is some sort of conflict with your life or within yourself, or there also could be some kind of a decision that you have to make. And on some level, if this makes you feel afraid, this is almost your conscious or your subconscious mind, its way of kind of avoiding that. I don't even think that this is going to resonate yet, but let me put all of this together for you. Okay, so future self, would you like to give us a bit of a more direct message, a clear message, and what deck would you like to use? Oh, let me try this one. They're kind of, this is gonna sound weird, but I feel like your future self is almost kind of playing with me. Like there's something, they're playing a trick or something. I don't even know what's going on. Future self of group 3, Spirit, can you please assist us here? What is their message? What is their message? I honestly feel like there could be some avoidance here for something. Yeah, okay, this is a little odd. You have yourself as the King of Wands, and then you go all the way back in time to the Page of Wands. So it's almost like there's a message from 2 versions of you at the same time. Now I understand. Now I understand why I was so confused, because this is your adult conscious self, and this is your past subconscious or child self. It's right here. See? This is 2 versions of you. And you're even facing the same direction and holding the same wand. That is interesting to me. Okay. So let's figure out what they want to say. That's never happened to me before. So let's separate this, okay? So inner child, or inner child, I guess, like future self. It's weird, right? Of group number 3, what would you like to tell them, please? It's still a future self. I know this is strange, but our inner child, since our inner child is always going to be a child, it's just always going to be within us, right? I'm just going to look into the future self of your inner child. So, okay, future self, inner child wise of group 3, what is your message for them? Thank you. Okay, all right. They did it again. They did it again, actually, yeah. Exact same thing just happened here. We have the King and the Page of the same suit again. Really weird, right? We see these really strong waves here, and then we have the actual Strength card itself, okay? And then we have the Knight of Coins. There is a direction that your inner child / future self is trying to show us. Okay. But over here, with the King and the Page of Cups, it does feel to me as if there is some kind of inner emotional upheaval, or I don't want to use the word turmoil at all. Some of you might identify with that word, but I feel like this is just some kind of an upheaval. There's a lot of waves. There's a lot of emotion to handle. There's a lot of wishes. There's a lot of need for the expression of this energy. And then over here, this is actually kind of the opposite. We have the Knight of Coins, the Knight of Pentacles. And this Knight of Pentacles is almost like saying that your inner child / future, whatever, just wants stability, just wants something to have in their life that is step by step, predictable, reliable, and safe. Okay. Yeah, this was really, and oh, remember we talked about stability before, or I forget what I said. I think I said balance before. Okay. As far as I can gather, your inner child and your future self wants to now be a part of your whole, almost like your spirit team, right? So, in other words, it's going to be a good idea to continue to check in with yourself, your future, or, well, yes, your future slash higher self, your inner child. Incorporate their wants and their thoughts on a regular basis. So tap into your inner child energy. What does this mean for you? Are you a person to have a lot of big emotions? Do you feel like it's very overwhelming for you? Now, let's talk about that for a moment here, because what I'm seeing actually is an enormous amount of psychic energy, like a ridiculous amount of psychic energy, okay? And I think that that is why this can feel very confusing, and it can feel like an upheaval. It can just feel completely overwhelming to the point where it's almost flooding and overflowing and overflooding you, okay? Now, I'm going to safely guess that many of you did not have direction with your psychic abilities when you were younger. That's just kind of a big norm. Some people, it's really uncommon that they had like teaching about it, but what I'm feeling here is that this enormous psychic energy within you, it didn't, and emotional energy too, it didn't have a place to go when you were younger, and therefore it's still needing to be expressed and channeled in a way that is balanced and healthy. And it's going to just, whoo boy, it's going to strengthen like you would not believe. Your child slash future self is asking you to begin this process now, because I mean, what else can we do, right? If we couldn't do it before, better late than never. And I'm very drawn to the mouse here with the violin. And that is a hint at things take practice to master. So it's going to feel for a lot of you like the beginnings of learning to play a particular musical instrument. We have to start somewhere. We have to learn just the basics. And that is what I think is happening here. You might want to learn from a friend. You might tap into your spirit guides, your angels. You might even learn from articles, books, and videos, okay, on how to do stuff like this. It could be something as simple as just meditating. It could be learning how to do stuff like divination. It could be oracle or tarot cards. Not that you really need that, but just how to channel your abilities. I personally, I feel like the first step is just to acknowledge that you have this. And down below, in the description, I'm going to link, actually, I think I usually have it linked, but what are your gifts? Like your psychic gifts and stuff like that. I'm going to make sure to link that below. I just reminded myself here. Yes, so it's time to embrace that if you have not already, okay? To embrace that you have this ability. And if you feel often confused by your emotions, just in a general sense, that's okay. If there's a lot of anything, it can be very confusing if it's all cluttered. So the key is to begin to sort through them and to, I guess, like organize them a little bit. It's the same thing as organizing a closet. It just looks nicer after we kind of just separate things. We're like, oh, okay, I understand what goes here. So you can do some self-reflecting, journal writing, therapy, whatever it is to help you sort through. It's going to really make a difference. But again, the bottom line with your child self, with their message, is that they want to feel safe and they want to feel secure. Okay, so having that step by step, having just like, it even could be a routine, it could be one habit, it could be a safe environment, whatever that means for you, that is what they want. Whew, boy, there's like so much right there. Okay. I was really blown away by that. This has never happened before. It's so interesting. Now, let's ask from your other future self. Okay, so I guess conscious or maybe adult future self of group number 3, what would you like to tell them, please? Thank you. Yeah, it's pretty much the same message. Your future self is wanting to prevent you from feeling completely burnt out, anxious, burdened, and all of these battles, okay? They want to prevent this because I don't know the time frame of what I'm channeling. This could be 10 years from now, and your future self is like, you don't have to go through another 10 years like this, or another however many years with this energy. That's what they're telling you right now. Okay, so what are some other messages, please? Yeah. They don't want you to be stuck with this, okay? They don't want you to feel stuck or to be stuck, especially because you have so much potential, again, with the psychic ability, or, you know, just like with your talent, okay? What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. They're saying it's time to move forward, or it's time to move on. Now, that doesn't mean like, oh yeah, like get over it. That doesn't mean that, because that's not what we need to do, actually. But what your future self is saying is it is now time to give yourself permission to begin to heal and move forward, okay? Because they understand, of course, that it is not so easy. You know, it is not this easy thing that we can just, you know, flip a switch and then just, you know, move ahead. In fact, sometimes if we think that that's all it takes, it often is just, you know, we're not really seeing the truth beneath that. So it's sort of like, you know, I guess like lying to ourselves at times. But I see you stepping up, kind of like picking yourself up from having fallen down or something like that. And you are, again, you're giving yourself permission to walk forward on your path, on your journey. Okay, what else do we need to know, please? Future self of group number 3, and then I'll get some different cards just because I want to use the Halloween ones too. Oh, I really like this. Oh, look, there's the King of Wands again. So here we have the Fool. This is your new beginning. This is your new self. This is your new journey. And here is the balance. Yes, you are working with yourself. You're not just giving yourself that, you know, classic self-love. This is you actually working in true balance and collaboration with you. So whether that's your inner child and you're allowing them to come out and play and to be joyful and to be spontaneous, even to play, I guess, like little tricks sometimes, like harmless ones. And the way that you're doing this, not just your inner child, but every part of you, you are working with you. And the way that you're doing this is by surrendering. Okay, you probably see this message quite a bit. So we have the Hanged Man. You're surrendering a lot. You're surrendering and letting go of the battles, within yourself, you know, the tiredness. For a lot of you, I feel like it's, you know, anxiety that you're letting go of. You're letting go of stuckness. You might even be letting go of some form of stubbornness within yourself. Maybe there's something that you feel you need to keep doing, or like you're convinced you have to keep doing. Maybe it's a pattern, whatever the case is. You're also letting go of that too. So, or rather, your future self is asking you to. And I do think that you will. You know, of course, it depends on the person. But yes, this is what's happening here. When you do this, okay, this version of you in the future looks completely different than this version of you. It's almost like you're like rinse and renew, like for some reason, like almost like you went through a washing cycle in the laundry, you know, something like that. You were just completely bright and fresh and just completely renewed. Totally a new version of yourself, and you're lighter, okay? So all the burden has faded away, has blown away in the wind, and you are this new, lighter person. Okay? So let's see. Any final messages, please? Future self of group number 3, anything else that you would like to tell them? I'm really glad that I figured out what the heck this was. I was so confused. I was like, oh boy, did I just screw up here? What else? We have the King of Bats. There's a lot of king energy going on here. Oh my god, it's here again. That's really strange. What's going on with the kings? See, that's really crazy to me. And you had it here and here. So, I don't know. It's just like you shining in your inner outward energy, you know, the inner masculine energy, like that focus and stuff. And here, I feel like this is just you wanting to see things clearly and wanting to move forward in a clear way. This is more of your present self, right? This energy. I do feel that tiredness and that frustration, but what I'm feeling from this card is that you have taken that first step, and that's all that's required, right? Without that first step, there can be no journey at all. So you're taking the first step, and then the next piece of the puzzle is to continue and to have a little bit of that consistency. I know that's really not an easy thing to do, but I feel like even if you fall off as many times as whatever, you can get back on again. You may want to do a little bit of like back research on just forming habits. I have recommended this book several times. It's called Atomic Habits by James Clear. And I just really like the way that this author convinces us. It's like stuff that we kind of probably like already knew, but he's really convincing about just like, you know, the research and how it can be so much easier than we thought. Final messages, please, for group number 3. Okay. The Knight of Bats. It's almost like showing this progression of you throughout everything. Strength card again. I do feel you're going to take action very soon, okay? I don't know if you feel a lot of pressure on yourself to take action a lot. Again, we had a lot of kings, and they are very much focused on taking action. If you feel pressured by that, just know that it's okay to balance sometimes just receiving energy and receiving intuition, and then you can take action when you are ready. You have to be ready. If you're not feeling ready, it's okay to not step forward just yet. I know you might be thinking, well, I have to get going. I have to, you know, hurry and push myself. That's actually, I feel like that's not the case. I feel like it's almost like working against yourself, because it's coming from that negative space. So again, just when you are ready, feel that intuition within yourself, feel that calmness within yourself, and then once you do, then it's a perfect time to take action. Final messages, please. Final message for group 3. Thank you. Okay, so finally we have the Ace of Bats, and then we have the 5 of Imps. It's going to be a little bit hard to have the clarity right now because of this conflict energy, whether it's coming from yourself or your outer environment. If you're going through a major life shift right now, or there's just like a lot of noise in your outer environment, whether it's work, at home, or you know, whatever it is, just be patient. This is going to clear pretty soon. Definitely, I feel like before the end of the year. Absolutely. And you're going to have a new ringing of clarity, almost like bells are going to go off, and you're going to have so much more clarity. But you do have to just be patient for this to clear. It's like a dust storm, or like just like clouds or whatever, and it will clear. I'm looking forward to seeing what this is, because it's just going to, again, it's just going to bring in that clarity for you. And I think everything else will make a lot of sense, okay? I think I'm gonna leave it there. This is just like an unfolding story. It's really interesting. And again, I am gonna link below some important pick a cards that I've done before that might resonate with you as well. Okay, so thank you so much to your inner child self and your future self for their messages. I hope it helped, and you can subscribe if you found this reading helpful, and if you'd like a personal reading with me, the info is also below. Okay, so thank you guys, sending you blessings, and I will see you next time. Okay, take care, bye-bye. Hey guys, this is the reading for those of you that chose group number 4, which is the necklace. Let's shuffle. Spirit, this is for group 4, please. Please and thank you. And future self of group number 4, future self. If you'd like to come through, and please give us some messages. What is your first message? Future self of group 4. Would you like to give them a starting message about anything you find very important for them to hear at this time? Group 4. You know, I feel like all 4 groups have been getting some type of a message of something with stuckness or blockage, and I I have said this in previous readings. I truly feel that this is a collective thing. So it could just be the time frame, the time period that we're in as a collective. It should be lifting. I don't know if any of you guys read energy forecasts, astrology, numerology, stuff like that. Let me know if this blockage of the collective, if that's the case, please let me know when it's coming to an end, please. I'm not good at planets and stuff like that. Future self of group number 4, what else would you like to tell them? Okay. All right. So, yes, as I was saying, I do feel that there is a blockage here of specifically the heart. Now, yes, it could have to do with your inner child. That's totally possible. I do feel it is connecting with your heart even as an adult, though, okay? I'm sorry if you're tired of hearing this message for some of you, but I feel like there's someone that is in your heart that is really... like there is something really relevant here with regard to a soul connection, okay? Whether it could be romantic, it could be not romantic, okay? So just see what it could be there for you. I mean, if all else fails, obviously it could just be with ourselves, but for a good 75% of you or more, I feel like there is a relevant message with someone in your heart, someone who has you in their heart, whatever the case is, okay? But anyway, so here your future self is talking about this. They're kind of talking casually to you right now. I don't know what to make of that. But almost like they know that you know this already. So it's not like they're giving you a warning or like some kind of direction, but they're just bringing it up, okay? There's anxiety here or stress with this situation. All right, maybe this is you guys' energy, or someone here in this situation is actually looking away from everything and everyone. Just really not minding the fact that there is this very obvious pain within the heart. I don't know how that's possible to not mind it, but this King of Cups does not look like, they're paying much attention to it. So it could just be focusing on other stuff and just, I guess, moving forward in life in certain ways. Future self of group number 4, what else would you like to tell them, please? Okay, with the Page of Cups, they actually just said, there is a conversation to be had. That's exactly what they said. And I'm getting like kind of like problems in my throat right now, so almost like I can't talk. Yeah, your future self specifically said that there's a conversation to be had. Okay, can you tell us anything else? Excuse me. Okay, let's see here. Okay, that's probably why. There is a conversation to be had because there is a lot of unresolved emotion, sadness, grief, feelings of loss, whatever the case is. Now, what happened when we put down the 5 of Cups was that the masculine part of the Lover's card is covered. Again, we basically saying that someone here is not looking. I don't know why. I mean, obviously we could all kind of guess, but everyone has a different situation. Someone here is not actually looking. They're choosing not to look. Future self of group number 4, what would you like to tell them? See, again, I don't know why exactly, they're bringing it up, even though you probably already have heard this so many times before. I'm thinking they're going to give us a little bit more of, a message at the end of this, but they're just bringing this up. I don't know. Future self, group 4, thank you. Okay. All right. Whoa. What's going on here? We got the 4 of Wands and then we got the Devil. So now we have the advantage of future vision here, okay, because of this message. So, obviously if we're channeling future self, they know what's going on. They're basically telling us from their perspective ahead of the game what's going on and where things can still go. Okay, now again, I feel like there is a relevant soul relationship here, soul connection here of some kind. Some of you, it could be something very positive, and others of you, it even could be something karmic where it's not so positive, and there's like a chain, you know, some kind of attachment or what have you with this. With the Knight of Pentacles, this is basically talking about a potential direction that this can go. And I did notice this at the bottom. So your future self is asking you, what direction would you like this to go in? Okay. Your future self is really encouraging you to have a sense of empowerment, to say you have a say, you have a choice, in fact, in this matter. You may not agree with that though, but they're trying to just say you have more power in the situation than you think. Well, this might be not for many of you, but if you feel you have already taken appropriate action to this situation, or any action towards the situation, then you're good to go. You can kind of just acknowledge it and be like, all right, I've done my part, and I can just live my life, and whatever's going to come to me will come to me. But I feel like a lot of you, that might not be the case, and your future self is really asking you to look at this potential future, okay? And again, how do we want this to look? All right. Now, obviously, we don't want this, because this is negative things, shadow, darkness, attachment, repeating patterns, struggle, you know, something just quite dark. And obviously, we don't want this. So what we want is for you to feel in balance, in harmony with yourself, and even with the energy of that other person, regardless of if they're in your life or not. Now, how do we do this is the question. So future self, what else would you like to tell them? Future self of group 4, please. What else? I feel, yes, that your future self is calling you out a little bit. Not that they're much ahead of this, but there is some kind of repeating cycle that is making this difficult for you more than it should. Or like, rather, I should word that as, this particular repeating cycle for you is probably the hardest thing you'll ever have to get out of. But if you can manage to do that, you can pretty much do anything, because this is the hardest thing. Okay, see, painful cycle, the Star card, and then this was at the bottom to show like that restriction, I feel, or even like that cage. Okay, so with the Star card, this is hope. All right, yeah. This is hope, your faith, your sense of peace, your sense of wishes and wanting these wishes to be fulfilled and having hope that they will be. I truly feel that that it will be fulfilled. It's, you know, even if you think, oh, it's going to take a miracle, I feel like your wish on a soul level, whatever that true wish is for you, it's going to be fulfilled. But first, there's some things to do here. So yeah, this is the pattern. This is the cycle. Very painful, very heavy, very much a part of, I would say, your foundation. You know, unfortunately, it's been a part of who you are, who you've been for a very long time. And that's why they were saying, like, if you can overcome this, you can overcome anything. Is there an spirit or group, future self of group 4, is there any way to do this? Is there an answer? Is there a cure? Is there a solution? Even could just be a decision in a lot of ways. I definitely know it's not as simple as that, but they, you know, for sometimes that could be something deep within us that we make that decision and it does click, you know. But here we have the 6 of Cups. This does have to do with, of course, your inner child. Okay, inner child of group number 4. This is kind of similar to what happened in group 3, actually. Inner child of group number 4, what would you like to tell them? How can they heal this? Wow, you literally got the card of healing and balancing. Is there a way specifically that they can do this? I think they're kind of showing me a bit of an image here. I did see the image of the cup itself, and the water was contaminated. It was like dark, kind of like ink was spilled into it, and then it just like got contaminated. So what you might need to do is cleanse. You might need to cleanse your energy probably regularly, and then do some work on the inner child or the past, where you're going through and regularly cleansing a lot of things that happened there, which would free a lot of the energy. This is interesting because this actually shows in the background contaminated water, you see? Okay. If you know energy cleansing techniques already, that's great. You can give that a go. Some things that I can think of, nature is very cleansing to us. Prayer, meditation, maybe cleansing tools such as crystals or sage, things like that. These are like actual tools and practices that would be really great, really helpful. But I think at the end of the day, it's more of just time spent doing this cleansing work. It is going to take time. It is going to take like this, it's kind of like, I guess, like if you're cleaning your house, it's just going to take time. It's going to take maintenance. Any other suggestions here? And I'll get an additional message for you after this. Yeah, and you can do it definitely with the help of your guides, but with also help of friends or people who support you, your soul family. And that really is all there is to it. I don't think that there's going to be a specific sort of magical cure or answer. I think it's just a matter of doing it and just continuing, to cleanse and cleanse and cleanse yourself now, your past self, and just like go into the memories, go into the energy and do a lot of cleansing work. Ask your angels and your guides to protect you and be with you in those memories and in the energy of the past, so that you can sort of transmute it, okay? To transmute the darkness to light, to create new light in the past version of you and your journey. One crystal I know that is really effective for that is smoky quartz. You might want to look into that. Any other additional new messages, future self of group number 4? What else would you like to tell them? Oh, okay, we have the devil again. All right. So it's the same kind of message. It's kind of crazy how tarot works, just like completely confirming. I'm just surprised that you got it again. But yeah, you can see here that there is this sort of captivity, and it is like a repeating cycle again. Oh, goodness. Are they going to age restrict this? Oh, crap. Darn it. I didn't think there was nudity on this card, but if you guys didn't know, YouTube restricts the artistic nudity or whatever. They might flag me for that. Darn it. Okay, what else, please? Oh, well. We have here the 9 of bats. Okay, so again, we have like that anxiety, and here it's sort of like waiting. I feel you are waiting for something or someone, even if it's yourself, or, and also someone else could be waiting as well. There's a lot of overthinking. Someone's really, really thinking hard about this and causing themselves a great deal of anxiety. Again, it could be more than one person. Again, like I said, you can see here that there's the chain, but in this version of things, this chain is not stopping you at all. It is loose. It's just around your shoulders. Your hands are free. You're able to do what you want, but someone is still just thinking and thinking and thinking. Okay, so at a certain point, the goal is to stop overthinking, I suppose, and you can like maybe just free yourself from all that thought, maybe focusing on something in your present, something in front of you, and then, or even thinking about just like taking action, okay? But yeah, this energy has to come to an end where it's just the overthinking in terms of the imbalanced thinking, okay? Be careful with getting stuck in your own head. Any final messages, please? Eight of bats, again, with the same energy here, the swords. Okay, there is restriction, there is the overthinking again, just a lot of things pulling at you at once. Is there any solution or any other further advice for healing? I think your future self is pretty much getting at the fact that the only way to heal yourself is to actually work on your healing, because you have the Temperance card again. Or was that the one we had before? Actually, yeah, here it is. So the only way to heal is just to put the time in, you know? Here, again, you can use tools for your healing. You can, you know, ask for some advice from other people who have done energy work before. And it's not only energy work, it's mind, body, spirit. So anything you can do to heal uh, any part of yourself, or eventually all parts of yourself, just go for it, start it, and continue. Final message we have the same one as before, okay? The King of Ghosts, King of Cups, and then we have Ten of Imps, which I don't think we had before. It was the Ten of Wands. No, I don't think we had that. But yeah, there is this. Oh, that's interesting. Remember before I said that someone here is like looking away, and now look at this. You can actually see what's going on here. It's almost like an X-ray vision of the same card. There's a ghost of the past in a sense, all right? So there is something of the past that this king is still holding on to. That is really interesting to me. And they're trying not to see it. Almost, you can see that there's a mask, but the eyes are still there. So they can still totally see it. And yeah, this has become a burden. So as you can see, your future self, it's almost like they're not telling you anything new. I was hoping to get some interesting stuff like that. I mean, they've told you plenty, don't get me wrong. I'm not, you know, they've told you plenty. But in terms of kind of like giving you these little like secrets or keys, you already have them. So it's almost like your future self is like saying, hey, come on, let's work together. Let's do this, so that you can be where you wish to be. This is definitely a to be continued thing. I'll try to link below in the description some relevant readings for you guys. I don't know if it's like about the soul connection or something like that. Maybe even like a soul contract. I really don't know what would be helpful, but I'll try to link a couple, okay? So that is what I'll just leave it there. That's what I have for you guys. I hope that it was helpful. I hope some of it was helpful and resonated. Maybe if you want to continue this through a personal reading with me, my information is below to get a personal reading. Okay, so thank you guys so much. Sending you blessings, and I will see you next time, okay? Take care. Bye-bye.